Hello everyone and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. See this little pop-up here, this little animation? That tells you exactly where the news stories are that we're covering on the timeline. So if you want to just skip straight to them, feel free to. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel though. That's what I need you to do first and foremost before you do anything else. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you've hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with our videos. The reason I'm telling you about the timestamps, there they are again, see them? Yeah, right? The reason I'm telling you about those is so we don't get comments like this anymore. Took a full 2 minutes to get into the news. Not gonna watch, not gonna subscribe. I don't know why you think we care about all these giveaways or merchandise. At least tell us about them like halfway through the video. I'm really not trying to be disrespectful to you. Appreciate that. But the 2 minute intro is one of the worst I've seen in a while. The reason we do that is if there is somebody like Tootsie Wootsy, alright, who refuses to use their real name. If you want to skip to a specific story, you can do that using that timestamp right there. All right? If you just want to be involved in the whole community aspect of this channel and you want to watch the whole entirety of it and help support the channel by buying some merch and also watching all the ads that pop up on the channel, then feel free to do that. We're here trying to make money and trying to provide you guys with as much entertainment as we can. Shall we get into the news? Well, just one more thing before the news. Firstly, transition. Secondly, those bloody flapjacks are amazing. Just if you don't want anything else from Enfuse, go and buy a few of those flapjacks just to try them out. Make sure you use a CPCN25 code at the checkout to make sure you get 25% discount. But even if you don't use sports nutrition, just go and buy some because, oh my God, they are amazing. Next up, I just want to give a massive shout out to Tony Strange. He is our mug of the... No, he's not the mug of the week. We're starting a new club. It's called the Mug Club. And whenever you buy a mug from our merchandise shop, just send us a picture of it and we'll post it on here like this one. That's Tony Strange, one of the first members of the Mug Club. So if you want to be part of that, go and buy a mug, take a picture of it, send it over. And then we can judge you based on how your coffee or your tea looks in your mug. And I've got to say, that looks like a rubbish cup of coffee. It looks more like gravy than it does coffee. I know. You're going to hate me for saying this, but I like a bit of milk in my coffee. Like a bit of milk and a bit of honey, just to get the flavours right and boom, we're away. I know, sacrilege, but I don't care. But send us your pictures when you get your mug. I want to see what your coffees and teas look like. Right, now we can get into the news. Oosh, boosh. Okay, in the first part of the news today, I'm going to call Chris's A&E, because this is all about riders suffering from injuries, getting injured, and potentially missing, one in particular, missing the cyclocross season because they're not going to be recovered in time. First up, Tom Pidcock suffered a serious injury at the Tour de l'Avenir. The Yorkshire wonder kid Tom Pidcock suffered a serious crash in the final kilometre at the Tour de l'Avenir on stage 6. The Brit was leading a group of 15 on a wet stage from Saint-Julien-Capitule to Prives in the under-23 race. Definitely pronounced that right. But crashed and injured himself in the last kilometre. Over on his Instagram, graphic warning should be applied here if people are squeamish and all that. It's not that bad, but I just thought I'd warn you. Over on his Instagram, he posted this picture saying, "Thanks for all the messages, everyone. Just starting to come around. I don't really remember much at the moment, but I remember enough to know what Instagram is and was told I was going to win, which is a bit rubbish. Anyway, I'll live to fight another day." Next, a quick update from Bahrain Merida on the condition of Domenico Pozzovivo. He suffered a nasty training crash. On Twitter, they posted this: hospital emoji, medical update. Domenico Pozzovivo underwent successful surgery today, and in 1 week he will begin physio rehabilitation. We wish you a fast recovery. That's great news to hear from Domenico Pozzovivo. His career is still in the balance as to whether he'll make a full recovery and get back on the bike, but either way, knowing that he's had successful surgery, he's going to be starting his physio rehabilitation. It's great news and it's obviously heading in the right direction. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that he is able to make a full recovery and then retire on his own terms and not because of an idiot in a car. Hopefully Domenico can pull some inspiration from this next guy. Luis Angel Matei. Why does everybody have to have names I can't pronounce? Matei. Should I say Matei? Say Matei. Luis Angel Matei is going to be returning to racing after he suffered a massive crash at the Tour of Poland and it left him needing 50 stitches in his head. According to the story on Cycling Weekly, Matey had only spent 4 days back on the bike by August 16th and was unsure whether he will be included in La Vuelta squad. being bedbound after the crash because of the amount of blood he lost and the antibiotics he was taking. If I was doing a sportif of 100 miles and I'd only spent 4 days on the bike, I'd be slightly worried. Let alone having to spend 3 weeks on a bike. But anyway, either way, it's amazing to see him bike. Let's hope he makes it through the whole tour safely. And kudos to him for doing that. Jesus. But the biggest news coming out of Chris Pritchard's A&E today is Wout van Aert's cyclocross season is still uncertain after his Tour de France crash. According to Cycling News, Wout van Aert's cyclocross season is looking more and more uncertain as he continues his recovery from a serious leg injury sustained in a crash during the time trial at the Tour de France in July. According to Het Nieuwsblad, he's still using crutches to walk and an additional 3 weeks before he can even consider training. So not only did Jumbo-Visma have an amazing Tour de France, Wout van Aert's debut in the Tour de France was just unbelievable. So not only did he take the team time trial victory with Jumbo-Visma, he also took stage victory on stage 10, a second place on stage 5, and there was a high probability that had he stayed on the bike on stage 13 that he would have took the individual time trial as well. Prior to injury, Wout van Aert's intentions was to start the cyclocross season September 14th over in Iowa. It seems over the next, 3 weeks to a month that Wout van Aert's going to be playing the waiting game now, waiting for that injury to heal, waiting for that scar to heal, so he can actually then start the process of rehabilitation, building that muscle back, getting functionality back in that leg before he can even think about getting back on a bike and getting back to bike fitness. I mean, this is going to have a huge knock-on effect. I can't see him making... Well, I don't think he's going to take part in any of the cyclocross season, especially before the end of the year. We're seeing more and more cyclocross riders coming across from cyclocross into road and just obliterating everyone. And if he's not got that from this winter, is he going to be as good next year on the road? I don't know. It's hard to say. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Do you think that this could have a knock-on effect for maybe a year or 2 years to come? Is this an injury where he may never recover and he may never actually fulfill his full potential now? There's so many aspects to this story, and until I guess we see how his rehabilitation goes, how soon he can get back on a bike, then I guess we can start assessing exactly what his potential is for this cyclocross season coming up, as well as future road racing as well. Leave your comments down below. Let me know, what do you think? Next up, and it seems every day now, we're seeing more and more transfers being made, so let's take a quick look and catch up with all the transfer news today. Fausto Masnada has just signed a 2-year deal with CCC Team. He moves up to World Tour level from Androni Giocattoli, where he was there for 3 seasons. Bora Hansgrohe signed Leonard Kamner from Sunweb. He's there on a 2-year contract up until the end of 2021. And one of the riders looking for success at this year's La Vuelta, Jakob Fuglsang, has just extended his contract with Team Astana. He's penned a deal all the way to the end of 2021. And talking of La Vuelta, let's take a look at a couple more teams which confirmed their lineup over the last couple of days. First up, Team Ineos. Team Ineos are going for a double-headed attack with Theo Geoghegan Hart and Wout Poels as joint leaders. So the team lineup is Owain Doull, Kenny Elissonde. You remember Kenny, right?
Hello, I'm Kenny Elissonde from Team Ineos, and you are watching the Chris Pritchard news show.
Sebastian Henao, Vasil Kirienka, Salvatore Puccio and Ian Stannard. I mean, it doesn't scream out like favourites to win, but it's definitely a solid squad. They've got some talented riders in there. Wout Poels, again, how's he going to have recovered? This is the same question you've got to ask every single rider that took part in the Tour de France. How has he recovered from the Tour de France? Is he going to be able to sustain another 3 weeks of racing up massive mountains? And Theo Geoghegan Hart had some great success at the Tour of Poland, and think back to the Tour of the Alps, he did really well there as well. Let's also take a look at Team Jumbo-Visma as well, because they've got Kruijswijk in there, Robert Hessing, George Bennett, Tony Martin, Leonard Hofstede, Sepp Kuss, Nielsen Paulus and Primoz Roglic. When looking at that team, you can't help thinking Primoz Roglic maybe tips slightly in favour of Kruijswijk, simply because of, again, as I've said before, Kruijswijk is just returning from the Tour de France, so he might not be on the form that Primoz Roglic might be. Both podium finishers at this year's other Grand Tours. Primoz Roglic was 3rd in the Giro, and obviously Kruijswijk was 3rd at the Tour de France. So just 4 days to go now until we see the riders roll out for stage 1. Are Jumbo-Visma going to be able to make it a hat-trick of first stage wins at the Grand Tours this year? They won the first stage of, well, the prologue of the Giro. They won the first stage of the Tour de France. And with a team time trial being the first stage, potentially they could wrap up all the first stages of all 3 Grand Tours this year. Surely that's a record in itself somewhere. Now the last story today, you know I love a good troll, and some people certainly deserve trolling. Check this tweet out. This is a tweet from Ellen Noble, who said, "I had a very scary crash on my bicycle. Fortunately, I had a very handsome man there to bring me a refreshing Red Bull and snacks. Hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. As well as a friend to take beautifully edited photos of my trauma. All in all, a truly magical day." And then there's a storyline of 4 pictures of her getting on a bike, having fun, then obviously suffering a serious accident, but thankfully having a hunky man there to help her, as well as her Red Bulls and eggs. Beautifully edited shots. Now for those of you who aren't in on that joke, you will be watching that and going, oh my god, she's suffered an injury, I hope she's alright. And then you'll look at her pictures and go, what the hell are they doing taking pictures like that while this girl's injured on the floor? But this story relates to another influencer. An editor at BuzzFeed, Tanya Chen, posted this on her Twitter saying, an influencer is defending her decision to post a photo shoot of her motorcycle accident on Instagram. She also denied to me that Smartwater featured in one of her professional photos is a brand endorsement. I mean, what is the world coming to? Let's check this out. This woman here called Tiffo, right? This is me and my, I'm not going to go through it all, but basically, this is me and my bike about an hour before I got into an accident. And then it tells you about the story of this accident. Next picture. Oh, look at those helmets. Both of them different to the one that she had on. Anyway, and then it carries on telling you about the story. So she basically lost the front end going into a turn. She went in too hot, lost the front end, ended up crashing. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, why wasn't she wearing protective gear? I don't know. She was wearing a helmet though, so that's fine. But dungarees and a vest, that'll save her. No worries. And then this next picture, I mean, come on. Come on. Smartwater might not be an affiliate, but don't tell me that wasn't placed there on purpose. Do not tell me that. Don't. No. Refuse to accept it. And then another picture of her there. I don't like to see people crash, but I have very little sympathy for people who fall off motorbikes who aren't wearing protective gear. Plan for the slide, not for the ride. That's what I was always taught. But I mean, come on, what kind of a world are we living in here where people are posting these edited pictures of their accidents? Whether it was real or not, just don't do it. What are you getting out of it? If you're promoting safety equipment in this, then great. If you're saying, listen, I'm an absolute knobhead for doing this, there's no way I should have been riding a motorcycle which is capable of in excess of 140 miles an hour. I was an idiot for not wearing protective gear. Make sure you wear it and then join up with an affiliate that supplies motorcycle gear. Don't make the same mistake I did. I'm an idiot. Don't do it. Wear protective motorcycling gear. Oosh, everyone would have gone, actually, yeah, good point. I'm glad you exposed that and showed us how much of a knobhead you were. But then she goes on to say that it brought back a lot of memories from 3 years ago when she lost somebody in a motorcycle accident. If you've witnessed an accident and seen someone lose their life, or you know someone who's lost their life on a motorbike, don't ride around in fucking dungarees. Seriously, zero sympathy. Anyway, the point being, amazing troll by Ellen Noble on that one. I wish I'd have thought of it. Good work. Leave your comments down below. How much of an idiot is this woman? Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've disliked the video, drop a thumbs down on it. Let me know exactly why so we can read it out tomorrow and give you some abuse. Other than that, we will see you tomorrow. Oosh.